iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to the show. Tonight we got a good one here. It's race number 2 of the American Sim Racing Club Pro Late Models here at the Lincoln Speedway here in Abbotsville, Pennsylvania. We head up to Pennsylvania Posse territory here at Lincoln Speedway. They're known for their sprint car action, but tonight we bring the Dirt Pro Late Models to do battle for race number 2 here of season number 2 of the Pro Late Models. We have a lot of cars on the racing premise here tonight, as we have 27 cars here in the pits getting ready to do qualifying here in less than 3 minutes. 22 cars will make the main event, so we are going to be sending 5 cars home from the last chance race here tonight. So it's going to be action-packed as top 4 lock themselves in from the heat races. The rest of the drivers having to race their way in. We will have 4 different heat races tonight, so it's going to be awesome. As you know, a lot of people don't have a ton of laps here at Lincoln. This is a fairly newer track on the iRacing sim, but this track has been around for a while. It has history dating all the way back to 1955 with the NASCAR Late Model and Modified Series. Yeah, you heard me right. This place was pavement racing for the early stages of its life, all the way up until 1978 when it got the clay surface over top it and started hosting the World of Outlaws, you know, the series that everyone loves to watch, the controlled chaos I like to call them. So this track, a lot of history, a few NASCAR winners way back in the day, that being of course Buck Baker way back in the day, Dick Hutcherson, Marvin Panch, Lee Petty getting a win here, and Junior Johnson and David Pearson. So some big names winning on the Speedway way back in the day. Now we'll see who can add their name to that illustrious list here on the dirt for tonight for the virtual 50 laps here tonight at Lincoln Speedway for race number 2. Thanks again for all you tuning on in. We had some great viewer numbers last week for race number 1, and it looks like we're picking up right where we left off last week. A lot of people tuning on in. Appreciate you guys spending your Sunday night with us as we get ready to head over to group qualifying. You get to see your favorite driver out on the speedway for these groups, and to give you guys a little sneak peek, group 1 looking like the following: Steve Hoffman, Jacob Lasser, and Ron the Hitman Hart. So all 3 of those cars going to be the first cars to roll on off here in group qualifying number 1. Another key point to keep in mind, folks. Last week we saw Jacob Laster run in second. He gets to lead the field to the start of qualifying, but Trevor Mattingly picking up right where he left off last week. He won, so he will have to start at the back this week here tonight at Lincoln, and we'll see what he can do as these guys get ready to do battle here. Next week, we got another great track. It's going to be some money on the line for these drivers, so we'll see a lot of drivers roll on in. It's a 100-lap special presented by Horsepower Happenings. It's the Eldora 100 next week, so you won't want to miss that, as that is paying out the top 5 finishers as we get ready to head over to our qualifying here at the Lincoln Speedway. We will now wait for drivers to head on out, and we will find who is the first to roll here for group number 1. Jacob Laster in the 151 machine, 51 on the car. We have 2 51s here tonight. Jacob Laster being one of them. The other one in this group as well, Ron Hart. So we'll keep an eye on them. But first car out on the Speedway, that is the man finishing bridesmaids last week. We'll see if he can do one more better here tonight at Lincoln. Jacob Laster off at turn number 4. He is on the clock. If you guys were real detectives and paying attention to the track, we did have the water truck come on out here before qualifying, but there will be no more water trucks as the night goes on. So this is the freshest the track's going to be all night long from here on out, as Jacob Laster puts lap number 1 in. He puts down a 15.38, a very solid lap for lap number 1 from Laster. Also out on the Speedway, it is Ron the Hitman Hart and this bright green, white, black 51 machine, as Ron Hart puts down a 15.79. We'll see if he's faster here. He does improve with a 6.8. Also, the final car in this group, he goes P number 2 at the moment. It is Stephen Hoffman in the number 23 machine. He's getting ready for his real-life dirt season with his modified. He's definitely excited for that, as I believe his first race is this weekend, or at the latest next weekend, as Stephen Hoffman here heads down the backstretch. He has closed in a little bit on Laster, but still a 10th off, as he gets that thing a little too far rotated off the corner. This lap won't be quicker from Hoffman, as it looks like he is on his final time lap here, as it looks like he will park it. So that will do it for group number 1. Right now, Jacob Laster does improve on that first lap. He's currently quick time with a 15.36. Now we'll get ready to check out who is out on the Speedway. Trevor Mattingly, the 13T, out on the Speedway. Of course, Trevor Mattingly last week parking it down in victory lane. He was season 1 champion here from the American Sim Racing Club Pro Late Models. He takes the title last season. We'll see if he can repeat, as Mattingly goes quick time with a 15.34. Aaron Kirby right behind him, as Mattingly looking to improve here on lap number 2. We got to take a look at this fast 91 machine. Kirby making it work. He was saying in practice he really likes how his car's feeling here tonight at the Lincoln Speedway, and that is showing here in qualifying. He sits P number 2 at the moment. Also out on the Speedway, he's got a new wrap on the car for this season, and it looks very nice. It's a 78 machine of Michael Guerin out here. Yeah, I appreciate him as he does pull it on in. Guerin currently 4th out of the moment with a 14.45. As we get our next group rolling out on the Speedway, it will be Hewer, Larson, and Darling out on the Speedway for group number 3. As Deontay here again, that Mopar machine off at turn number 4. The 00 on the clock. Looks like we already got some YouTube chat out there in the chat lands. We got Jordan Tucker cheering on Cameron Tucker. So the 53 machine I think further down in the qualifying order. But yeah, let us know if you got a driver you're rooting on for. Let me know in the chat. That way we can for sure get them up on the screen, as here putting in the laps here. Also out on the Speedway, the number 5 of Darrell Larson, part of that very dominant, very large group of teammates, that being the Hot Lap Hero group. Those guys are very quick no matter where they come. Darrell Larson currently sits P number 5 at the moment, and that thing is looking very sporty. Also out on the Speedway, he's got a little bit of right side damage, already flirting with the wall. That's the 88 machine, that north side towing, How, and horsepower happenings 88 machine of Chuck Darling, as he brings that thing down pit side. We get now ready for our next group, and we got Grady Ehrman. Grady in the 43 machine, getting that thing up to speed down the backstretch. As the 43 machine now on the clock. Grady Ehrman, we'll see where he can go here on lap number 2. Ehrman goes to P number 5, a nice improvement. He puts down a 4.8. Dave Payne, though, puts down a 4.0. As we now look to the driver of the 38 machine, that is Dave Payne, putting down a nice lap here to put him in the top 5. That will get him a good starting spot here in the heat races. We'll see if he can improve on that lap time as we look at the 38 ASRC machine. Also in this final group here, it's the 422 machine, also part of that Hot Lap Heroes group. Jordan McAvoy looks like he is already wrapped up in the qualifying. Currently sits P number 9 with a 15.54 at the moment. As we get our next group rolling out on the Speedway, looks like the first car out there is going to be the 9 of Dane Lloyd, another car of that Hot Lap Heroes group. You'll hear that a lot from me, as they are being fully represented by a lot of drivers. Like I said, a lot of drivers here tonight, but I want to say at least a quarter of them have that logo on their car, and that logo usually provides some pretty good speed. And still, Trevor Mattingly sits at the top of the board in that 13T, but we'll see if anyone can improve on that as the track starts to wear. As Nicholas alone goes P number 2, he might have a shot. Joseph Grandy, to the top of the board. That's in that 5AT machine. Quick time with a 15.29. Grandy looking very sporty out here in that 5AT machine. That is a lap there, folks, by him. He sits currently quick time, as he'll bring that thing in, say, that's good enough for me. Also out on the Speedway is Nicholas Alone in the 69 machine. Alone sits P number 3, so this track very sporty, as he's got a lot of good sponsors on that car. He will bring it on in and pat himself on the back. A top 3 qualifying effort at the moment. Next group, we have Bobby Mattingly, Brandon Bolton, and Andrew Payne getting ready to roll out on the Speedway here. As we look at Bobby Mattingly in the 3M, good old Trevor Mattingly's uncle. We'll see what Bobby can do. The good old Hunt the Front guys had some fairly decent money race here on the iRacing Simulator, I believe last week, and Bobby Mattingly coming home with the unofficial finish of 4th. So that is an impressive run. A lot of big names in that group, and Bobby Mattingly, of course, showing what he's got here with the American Sim Racing Club. He says this is some of the best drivers to race around, as Bobby Mattingly puts himself P number 8 at the moment. Also out on the Speedway, we see the admin for our Tuesday series. Be sure to tune into that. It's brought to you by yours truly, and we see a lot of these guys crossing on over. We have a lot of Hot Lap Hero guys actually jumping over to the pavement for that American Sim Racing Club Next Gen series, but we have the admin out here tonight. It's the 93 machine of Andrew Payne. Also in this group, pulling it on in, it's the 124 machine of Brandon Bolton. Currently sits P number 6 with a 15.39, so a very solid effort from the 124 machine here tonight. Now we get ready for our next group, and it looks like we have some cars getting ready to roll out on the speedway for this group. Looks like Brandon Marlowe out in front of Trevor Landrum in the 18 machine. So we look now at another Hot Lap Heroes car. It's the 37 machine. He finished on the podium last week. He's looking for some more, looking for that first win with this group, this new group of the American Sim Racing Club Pro Late Model Series. Brandon Marlowe in that 37 machine. Marlowe already on the clock, but this lap looking a lot faster. Marlowe will jump now to P number 3 with a 15.31. So an awesome lap by Brandon Marlowe. Also, we saw him roll out of pits. It's the 18 machine of Trevor Landrum. He's out here for the first time in this series and cutting his teeth. He's trying. He's already in the top 16. He's hoping to get in the top 10 as Landrum sits with a 15.57 also in this qualifying group. We got Cade Gailey in the 27 machine. He needs some sponsorship on that bright red number 27 machine. That thing looking a little plain, but pretty sporty as that driver puts himself P number 11 at the moment as he'll bring it in pit side. Next group looking like the following. Tanner Hutchins rolling out on the speedway in the double OH machine. Hutchins picked up this pink paint scheme in the middle of last season and hasn't left it since. He did pick up a win with this scheme and he says, yeah, I'm sticking with it. So the Pink Panther out here tonight for Tanner Hutchins. He's on the clock. As you guys can see with the racing surface starting to slick on off ever so slightly in the corners, especially 3 and 4. You can see that dark stuff starting to pop on up and grow as that will affect these cars. You know, as you see, the fast line is throwing it through it. That helps the car rotate, but it hurts a little bit of drive off as Tanner Hutchins, P number 10 at the moment with a 15.43, also out on the speedway. He met some of the turn 3 gang out there at the Chili Bowl. That is Blake Steele in the number 11. Blake Steele getting to meet Muth in the booth and some of the fellow diehard turn 3 guys, so got to give a shout out to him there. Blake Steele, another top 5 finish. I talked about him last week. He is Mr. Consistent, has ever since the middle of last season. Something's clicked in that 11 machine. Doesn't quite have qualifying figured out, but man, he has the race pace and finds himself going to the front in a hurry. Also in this group, we have the 26 machine of Zach Nichols. Out there putting in a lap, trying to see where he did end up. But in this next group, we have Marco Mitchell in the 07 machine. Mitchell is on the clock. Mitchell missing the banking there in 1 and 2. This will hurt this lap, so the 07 machine will have to re-rack, restack, and figure out this changing track, as this lap number 1 won't be the best, but he will improve for lap number 2. Also out on the speedway here, we saw some people pulling for him in the YouTube chat lands. That is Cam Tucker in this 53 machine. Cam Tucker currently P number 10 at the moment, so an impressive run for how worn this track is. He's figuring something out here in a hurry and doing just that. As the final car out here on the track is the 28 machine, or 54 on the car. That is Matt Kemp. Kemp came in to the Tuesday night series for his first race and won it. We'll see what he can do tonight, but he's starting deep in the field as he qualifies P number 22, as that will do it here for the qualifying at Lincoln Speedway for race number 2, as Joseph Grandy in the 518 machine comes home with the quick time. So congrats to Grandy, as we will get ready for heat race number 1. Of course, top 4 locking themselves into the main show. The rest of the field having to battle their way in as we run over tonight's starting lineup for heat race number 1. Joseph Grandy with quick time will start on the pole in the 518 machine. Nicholas Alone in the 69 will start outside pole. Row number 2 being made up of the following. Down low is Dave Payne in the 38, with Michael Guerin in the 78 outside row number 2. Row number 3 is Darrell Larson in the 5, starting 5th. Nice worked out like that. Andrew Payne in the 93 will start 6th. And starting shotgun for heat race number 1 is Chuck Darling in the 88 machine. That will be the starting order here tonight at Lincoln Speedway. And it is time for heat race number 1 to get ready to rock and roll. They head past the start finish line to get the 1 to go signal here. As Dave Payne does drop to the back, he did have an unclaimed in last week's heat race, so he'll have to start at the back getting that penalty. But Joseph Grandy in the 518 machine will be leading us to green as the field heads down the backstretch of the iRacing Pace truck, darts down pit road as we get ready to do battle for 8 laps here tonight for heat race number 1. And of course, keep an eye on that 4th position. Top 4 locking themselves in, and off of turn number 4, the field's on the loud pedal. We go green flag racing action here at Lincoln Speedway. Oh, it's contact in the back. Darrell Larson gets some big time hits in the back. Andrew Payne involved, Chuck Darling involved, as that moves Larson outside of the transfer spot. A hectic turn number 1, but Joseph Grandy gets away with the lead. He is trying to set sail out front. Nicholas Alone slots in his 2nd. Michael Guerin hanging on to a solid 3rd in that 78 machine. Chuck Darling now trying to hold on to that last transfer spot. As this battle continues, Larson trying to get back those spots he lost on that start. He's rolling that top side, same as Dave Payne. Payne with a big send in last. He's trying to find some speed here quickly. With 5 laps to go in the heat race, he needs to make up 4 spots, and he needs to pass 3 cars to get himself locked into the main. Dave Payne, one of the drivers going home in week number 1. He does not want to repeat as he goes side by side with Andrew Payne down the front stretch. Payne trying to get that car rotated, keeping it down low. He will get the pass on Payne. Now sets his sights on Darrell Larson for that 5th position. He gets a nose to the inside, so it'll be a drag race down the front stretch. Dave Payne with a slider. He almost makes contact. Andrew Payne has to jump on the binders hard to knock in the back bumper there. This time by for Grandy out front. We see popsicle sticks up in the air for heat race number 1. Grandy's hoping this thing goes green till the end. Same with Chuck Darling as he has a little bit of buffer to the number 5 car, Darrell Larson, behind him for that transfer spot. Off of turn number 4. Grandy will see the white flag here. 1 more lap to go here around Lincoln Speedway for heat race number 1. As we keep an eye on the battle here, Dave Payne still trying to work over the 5 machine, but off of turn number 4, Joseph Grandy picks up heat race number 1 win. He will get a heat win this season. Nicholas Alone 3rd, Michael Guerin 4th, Chuck Darling 4th, Michael Guerin 3rd, excuse me, as that rounds out the transfer spots. As we get ready now to head over to heat race number 2 of the night. Heat race number 2, starting order looks like the following. Trevor Mattingly in the 13T will be leading us to green. Aaron Kirby in the 91 will start outside pole. Starting in 3rd is Cam Tucker in the 53 machine, with Cade Gailey in the 27 starting in 4th. 5th going to Stephen Hoffman in the 23 machine, and Matt Kemp in the 28 will start in 6th and round out the field as Mark Mitchell does not make the call here for heat race number 2 of the night. Looks like we have Michael Guerin out there in the chat. Didn't know the season started last week. I'm happy to have here cold beer after races at my hauler. Yeah, Guerin, we're happy to have you here this week. A nice solid run from you in heat race number 1, picking up 3rd. So, and I like the new wrap of the white black number 78 machine looking sporty here tonight. And of course we have Hoffman Racing out here cheering on Stephen Hoffman in the 23 machine. He is out here starting 5th here tonight in heat race number 2. As this time by, the iRacing Pace truck will make its way down pit road, and we will be going green flag racing here off at turn number 4. Trevor Mattingly leading us to green with Aaron Kirby starting on his outside. Kirby not having the week one that he wanted. He's hungry here for some good finishes as we go green flag racing here for heat race number 2. As Trevor Mattingly gets the jump, but Kirby trying to roll that top side. He jumps the cushion. That opens up the door for Cam Tucker for that second position. Kirby once again sends it on in there, parks it right on the cushion. Contact a little bit further back as they almost go 3 wide as Stephen Hoffman threads the needle. He goes up to the top side. Hoffman now in a transfer spot as the field charges down the backstretch. Hoffman sending that car in on that top side, jumped the cushion that time. He has to get that thing a little bit more rotated. That time he does it as he has Matt Kemp right on his back bumper. But we look up a little bit further as a side-by-side battle here for position number 2. Aaron Kirby trying to roll the inside of Cameron Tucker. It's too funny these guys end up side by side because in practice these guys ran, I don't know, 15-20 laps side by side with each other, racing each other totally clean. Now in the heat race they get deja vu. They do it right back again right when it counts. Aaron Kirby still trying to work that inside line. Cameron Tucker rolling the top side in that 53 machine. Tucker with the advantage down the backside, but Aaron Kirby sends it on in the corner, hits the brakes hard, gets that thing to rotate, and then drives that car off straighter. Cam Tucker able to complete the pass on the top side, so he will claim in second as they single file on out. Now Stephen Hoffman under fire with that transfer spot, has 200 hungry cars right behind him. First time entries behind him, that being Cade Gailey in the 27 with Matt Kemp. These guys cutting their teeth on the dirt first time here tonight and trying to lock themselves in here early, not have to go to that B main. But off of turn number 4, Trevor Mattingly will see the white flag. One more lap to go for heat race number 2. As Stephen Hoffman, Cade Gailey go door to door. We'll keep an eye on this because off of turn number 4, Trevor Mattingly wins heat race number 2, and it's a battle here for the transfer spot. Looks like Cade Gailey will steal it away from Stephen Hoffman. Gailey locks himself in. Hoffman having to go to the B main as Trevor Mattingly gets the job done. He adds another notch to the lipstick case with another heat win here tonight at Lincoln Speedway. We head over to heat race number 3 now with some hot lap hero front row action. Brandon Marlowe in the 37 machine will start on the pole with Jacob Laster in the 151 starting to his outside. Row number 2 be made up of Bobby Mattingly in the 3M with Blake Steele in the 11 starting in 4th. 5th will be Trevor Landrum in the 18 machine with Ron the Hitman Hart in the 51 starting to his outside. And starting shotgun on heat race number 3 is Deontay Hearer in the 00 Mopar machine. That will do it here for heat race number 3 starting order as these drivers getting ready to do battle. This time by on the front stretch, the field getting the 1 to go signal as Brandon Marlowe will lead us to green. Jacob Laster starting outside front row. Both these guys very good. Both these guys on the podium last week. They're hoping to repeat that here tonight at Lincoln. The pace truck heads down pit road and off at turn number 4, the fuel will come. Brandon Marlowe on the loud pedal. We go green flag racing for heat race number 3. Marlowe gets a good start. He'll slide up to that top side in front of Laster. Laster now going door to door with Bobby Mattingly for second. Mattingly down low, Laster up top. As a battle for 4th rages on, Landrum trying to get the advantage on Blake Steele for that 4th position. As Blake Steele roll in the middle here, 3 wide off of turn number 2. As Blake Steele in the middle, Bobby Mattingly challenging for the race lead off of turn number 4. You could throw a blanket over these cars side by side, 2 abreast for the top 4 here at the moment here at Lincoln Speedway for heat race number 3. This is the racing action we come to see here at the American Sim Racing Club as Bobby Mattingly getting that car to rotate down low. That 3M machine going to be very fast here for the future if he can make that work because he is absolutely hooked up down low here tonight. He is now trying to drive away from Brandon Marlowe in that second position. Marlowe now saying, man, Manley's got something figured out. I got to go follow him down low. Top two down low. Now Blake Steele down low in the 11. That puts Lassiter up top and battling for that transfer position. Could we see Jacob Lassiter last week going from bridesmaid to having to race his way in from the B main? We'll have 3 laps to figure that out as Trevor Landrum is trying to move Mattingly to that B main as they go door to door down the backstretch here. Landrum with a big send. He'll get that thing rotated. Those guys touch off of turn number 4. This time by, we'll see popsicle sticks up in the air. 2 laps to go here at Lincoln Speedway. Bobby Madley kind of holding his own right now, about 3 car lengths to Marlowe and about 2 car lengths back from Marlowe to Blake Steele. But we got to keep an eye on this last transfer position. Jacob Lassiter able to get down to this bottom side, take Landrum's line away. What does Landrum have in the final time here in 3 and 4? Landrum will slide it on in there, but it won't be enough off of turn number 4. Lassiter will hang on to the spot. Bobby Mattingly, heat winner for heat race number 3 here tonight at Lincoln Speedway. We now make our way down here to the front stretch here for the final heat race of the night. The one car we did not get to see out on qualifying, that of course we're looking at, is Zach Nichols in the 26 machine, or 28 on the car. So that is his driver information. We did not get to cover that in the qualifying, but we'll get him here before we start rolling for heat race number 4, as Zach Nichols in that machine will lead us to green. He will start on the pole. To his outside is Brandon Bolin in the 124 machine. Row number 2 is Tanner Hutchins in the double H machine, with Dane Lloyd in the 9 starting in 4th. Then in 5th, we got Jordan McAvoy in the 422 machine, and it looks like Grady Earham in the 42 will start shotgun on the field. Earman, getting a penalty last week in his heat race, so he will start at the back as Grady Earman will start in the 6th position. Now move up Dan Lloyd up to 4th, as Zach Nichols will be leading us to green as the iRacing pace truck heads down pit road. Brandon Bolton on that outside lane. It'll be interesting, folks, to see where these drivers go. We saw heat race 1 and 2, that top side be the move, but heat race number 3, it was down low. We'll find out here in a second, as off of turn number 4, the field's on the loud pedal here. We go green flag racing here for heat race number 4, as Zach Nichols dives it down into turn number 1. Contact for second as Tanner Hutchins and Brandon Bolin door bang into turn number 1. Dan Lloyd a little out of shape down the backstretch. That opens up the door for Jordan McAvoy as they go 3 wide down the front stretch. We'll see if they can make it stick as more contact as Grady Earman gets into the door of the 422 machine, and Earman finds himself in a transfer spot. He'll slide up in front of the 9 machine, so Earman in the spot where he wants to be. He's locked into the show, but has 2 fast race cars right behind him as they almost go 3 wide once again down the backstretch. As this battle for second continues, this allows Zach Nichols to pull out in front of the field, and he's doing just that. He says, keep it side by side behind me, guys. I appreciate the clean air out in front. As Brandon Bolton now clears Tanner Hutchins for that second position. So Bolton back up into second. We'll see if he can run down the race leader, but only a handful of laps left as we have 4 to go here at the start finish line. Right now, everyone kind of single filed on out. Looks like Nichols down low and the rest of the field falling, besides those back 2 hot lap hero machines. Both those guys trying to roll the top, but that bottom side seems to be where it is at, because off of turn number 4, Nichols will see popsicle sticks up in the air. Zach Nichols will see that here, and Nichols has a lot of iRacing experience and some real life experience. I believe he runs a dwarf car here in the Michigan area, and he was once a pro pavement driver on the iRacing simulator. So some big names here tonight cutting their teeth on the dirt as Nichols running away from this field. That machine definitely dialed on in here for the final time. Off of turn number 4 for these heat races, Zach Nichols, first appearance, heat win, box checked. He's looking for that features. Nichols picks up the win, and that will do it here as we get ready for the last chance race. These guys doing 12 laps to decide the top 6, locking themselves in. We are sending 5 drivers home from this. This could be the last time you see your favorite driver as the dark falls on the speedway. We get ready to run through tonight's starting order for the last chance race. Dave Payton sent home last week, hoping not for a repeat. He starts pretty good though. He will start on the pole. Stephen Hoffman in the 23 machine will start outside pole. Starting in the 3rd position is Trevor Landam in the 18, with Jordan McAvoy in the 422 starting 2nd. And actually, Stephen Hoffman misses the grid start, so he will start at the back if he does make it on out. So tough break for Hoffman. Is not sure what's going on with him as that moves up the top side row. As Darrell Larson will start 5th, Matt Kemp 6th, Ron Hart 7th, Dane Lloyd 8th, Andrew Payne 9th, Mark Mitchell 10th, and rounding out the field tonight is Deontay Hero. But off of turn number 4, folks, get up on your feet, wave what you got, because it's the wave lap. We are sending 5 drivers home from this, so we won't see 5 drivers from this. This will be their last appearance on the speedway. So give your favorite driver a wave, or pick your favorite driver from this race. Let us know who you're cheering on, because the iRacing Pace Truck's heading down pit road. And we are going to be going green flag racing for the B main off of turn number 4. Dave Payne leading the way here for 12 laps at Lincoln Speedway. He jumps on the loud pedal. We go green flag racing for the B main. As we get a insta yellow here. It looks like one car turning on around. It looks like the 93 machine of Andrew Payne. Right at the start, we get a caution right away as we take a look on the turn 3 replay here and try and figure out what happened to the 93 at the start. Looks like everyone jumps on the loud pedal here in 3 and 4. A little bit of a checkup up in front of him, and all the 00 just gets to the backside of Andrew Payne. That turns him on around, and especially with these pro late models, folks, I mean, any sort of contact with the front nose to the back of these cars, it's going to send the car in the front right around, because these things, as you can see, very shovel nose like in the nose. You know, that's going to just instantly pick up the rear end, send that car in front right around, and that's what we saw there. A little bit of accordion and some contact as Deontay Hero did claim that yellow, so he will start in the back. But we get ready here to try and go back green flag racing here as we get the Delaware double file restarts under our belt. Dave Payne will have the race lead by himself up in front. Looks like Jordan McAvoy will elect the top side. That moves Trevor Landam to restart MP number 3. As this time by, the lights are extinguished on the iRacing Pace Truck. We are going green. Oh, sorry, they come back out here, so a little false alarm by my end. You know, we got the 2 to go. I'm here now from race control as I head down the backstretch. As it looks like the yellow did come back out for one car stopped on the front stretch. Looks like the 18 machine having some issues, so we'll see if he can get it refired and get back rolling, as Trevor Landam is stopped on the front stretch having some issues. You can see him turning the wheel trying to get that thing refired, as we will stay under extended caution at the moment. And that is true, Garrett. You said, you know, the Hot Lap Heroes need a bigger farm for all the goats on the team. And that is true. They have a lot of goats in the stable. They have a lot of drivers on that team. And, you know, they come out and represent each and every week. And I give them a lot of props. They put on a heck of a show as we now get everything sorted on out. The iRacing Pace Truck heads down pit road. We get ready to go back green flag race in action. It looks like a full field restart as Dave Payne once again will lead us to green off at turn number 4. He jumps on the loud pedal here. We go green flag racing here at Lincoln for the last chance race. Dave Payne lead the way in this field. These drivers duking it on out here at the moment. Matt Kemp, back into the back bumper of Darrell Larson. That will send Ron Hart around and collect some cars as we go under our second yellow flag here of the night. Ron Hart definitely facing the wrong way on the speedway as we try and take a look to see what started that. We saw contact further in the back, I believe, to the back bumper of the 5 machine. I think Larson didn't get that car rotated as much as he wanted to the inside of Kemp, and that just checked up the field just a little bit too much in 3 and 4 here, and they all couldn't react quick enough as Ron Hart actually going for a slider, just barely mistimes it, slides up in front of Lloyd on the binders, and then the rest of the field gets collected. A little bit of contact, bumper tag throughout, but Ron Hart with a slider just mistimed as Ron Hart does claim that yellow, that 51 machine in the back, and having to pick up about 5 spots as now Trevor Landum finds himself on pit road and I believe out of this race at the moment. The good news for the 23 fans out there of Stephen Hoffman, he did make the call. He was able to get out on the speedway and get that car out there. He currently sits in the 8th position, so Hoffman's still in this. His night's not over. He can still race his way in. But another full field restart, and off of turn number 4, Dave Payne once again jumps on the loud pedal. We go back green flag racing action here at Lincoln, or at least we try to, as the field dives down into turn 1 and 2. Kemp already against the wall. He jumps the cushion. That moves Larson once again to that inside line. For 3rd position, they go door to door. Matt Kemp once again hops the front tires. One car almost goes over in the back. That is Deontay here. He will park it to the outside wall in 3 and 4. Hopefully we get a yellow because that car facing the wrong direction. Now we get our 3rd quick yellow as the field tries to get on the binders, get out of the way, and everyone does make awesome evasive maneuvers to not hit the park buckshot 00 machine of Deontay here. As we now fall under the yellow felt for the 3rd time here in the B main. These drivers, knowing we're sending a lot of people home, trying to drive as aggressively as they can, but just a little bit over the edge because we see now our 3rd caution here in the first 3 laps. So I believe if I had to put some money on it, I think race control might be going single file from here on out till these guys can get themselves sorted on out. As Jordan out there in the YouTube chat lands, Cameron Tucker did lock himself into the main show. I believe he finished 2nd or 3rd in his heat race, so he will be about the 8th to, let's say, 12th position for the main event. So Cam Tucker did lock himself in. He doesn't have to run the B main, which we're running right now, so Cam Tucker gets on in. And how we doing, Caleb? Glad to see you out here tuning on in. Tonight's a barn burner, I tell you what. We're only in the B main right now, 27 cars on the premise, and some action-packed racing as Lincoln is putting on a good show, I bet, for the 50-lap main event. But here in the B main, we go back green flag racing action as Dave Payne on the loud pedal once again. He gets away with a great start. He gets to start all by himself out front with the Delaware double file restart as Matt Kemp once again jumps the cushion. They go 3 wide down the backstretch for a second as now Dane Lloyd tries to find his way on in. Andrew Payne getting in up to a transfer spot as Stephen Hoffman, Andrew Payne battling for that transfer spot for that A main as Ron Hart tries to get back in there as Matt Kemp gets in the wall down the backstretch. That slows him on out, checks, big time checkup as that bunches him right back up, folks. This is a battle here for the transfer spots. Dave Payne leads the way out in front. He has Jordan McAvoy just kind of riding behind him as these guys throwing everything they got to try and make this main event here tonight at Lincoln Speedway. Andrew Payne big time into the wall. That was hard contact in 3 and 4. That instantly flipped around the car and bring out the yellow flag as we try and figure out what happened to Andrew Payne. I believe he just jumped the curb, folks, or sorry, jumped the cushion, let's say, and that car just made hard contact to that outside wall, and with that contact, that thing whipped on around and brought out this most recent yellow. Our fourth yellow here tonight in the B main, as him and Ron Hart door bang corner entry. That doesn't get the 93 machine rotated at all. Then that back end kind of hops over that wall and kind of whips them on around as those rear tires become disconnected to the track. So definitely a wild one. These guys, I'm sure the guys in the A main watching this have to keep that in the back of their mind, that they can't lay that right rear quarter panel too hard on that wall, or else they could maybe hop that wall like that and flip themselves on around in a hurry. But at the moment, Stephen Hoffman, last car in the transfer spot. He started from pits, got a quick yellow to get back out there, and then he is in the spot where he needs to be. Last transfer spot in, so Hoffman going to try and defend that spot with his life to make sure he makes this A main here tonight. But up front, Dave Payne will be leading us once again back to the green flag. He jumps on the loud pedal. We go back green flag racing action here for the B main at Lincoln Speedway. That time by at the start finish line. We see 5 laps to go. We look a little bit further back in this pack as these guys duking it on out here. You could throw a blanket over the guys in this mid pack because McAvoy has Darrell Larson right kind of on his left rear, and then everyone else trying to find an opening. Larson gets contacted by the 9. Ron Hart gets a piece of it, and they stay green. And off of turn number 4, Dave Payne wins the B main. He locks himself in, as the last car to lock himself in is Ron Hart in that 6th position. So the top 6 making the show here. The car's not making it. Looks like Mitchell, Payne, Heuer, Larson, and Landrum. Darrell Larson with a heartbreak at the end of that. That was definitely tough to watch as he got clipped down the backstretch, lost all his momentum, and does not make the show because of it. So that is a tough break, as now we try and head over to the winner of the B main. That is, of course, Dave Payne. We'll try and get him here in the booth here in just 1 second. But first, we're going to go to commercial break. We'll be right back on the other side. Don't go anywhere, folks, because after this 5 minutes, we have the A main 50-lap show. Alrighty, folks, we make our way back down to Lincoln Speedway, and we try and dial up the winner of the B main. That is Dave Payne. Dave, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here. Paige and Dave Payne, do you got a copy? We're looking around the pit stall of the 38 machine trying to find Dave Payne, and I don't believe he's around here. Dave, do you got a copy? As we do not get a word with the driver of the 38 machine, he's probably taking a pee break, if I know Dave well enough, and I definitely do. He is probably in that porta john, as he was tonight's B main winner. He will find himself starting deep in the field in the 17th position here tonight when we go back green flag racing action. As we got cars out on the speedway breaking in this surface. As folks, I appreciate all the YouTube chat lands. I appreciate you guys letting me know who you're cheering on for, who to spotlight here tonight, who you guys want to see more of, because we know we got a lot of fast cars out here, and especially tonight at the 3/8 mile Lincoln Speedway, these cars are going to be flying on around this track. As like I said, folks, a lot of history here at Lincoln Speedway in Abbotsville, Pennsylvania, part of the Pennsylvania Posse. I know a lot of Turn 3 guys around there, and these guys liking this racetrack. And like I said, folks, known for their sprint cars, but tonight the ASRC Pro Late Model drivers gonna put on a show and see who can add their name to the illustrious list of winners at the Speedway. As we have about a minute left here in warm-ups, these drivers getting the final adjustments done to their race cars, getting ready to roll out for this 50-lap main event here coming at you in less than a minute. Has a lot of big time names here in this series. This series, you know, we had a good, strong competitors last season, you know, a lot of big names, and we only keep on adding to the list. I mean, 27 cars here showing up for the 22 car field. That is very impressive. We look to keep it up, and if you want to join an awesome dirt series, you know, we're still taking applications. You still got time to join this, because don't forget, if you make 80% of these races, you are eligible for those 5 chances to win $20 of cold hard cash. We're giving away $100 in total, and then of course you got 5 chances to earn that $20. And next week we got the big Eldora 100 for some money as well. So a lot of reasons to join these guys. If you think you got what it takes to go up against some of the best, be sure to check it out at AmericanSimRacingClub.com. As we now head down trackside to run through tonight's starting order here at Lincoln Speedway for race number 2 of the American Sim Racing Club Pro Late Model Series. Joseph Grandy and the 518 machine will be leading us to the green, as Trevor Mattingly and the 13 will start second. Bobby Mattingly in the 3M will start third, with Zach Nichols in the 26 starting in fourth. Fifth going to Nicholas alone in the 69, with Cam Tucker. For all the Cam Tucker fans out there, he will roll off in the 6th position. Starting in 7th is Brandon Marlowe in the 37, with Brandon Bolton in the 124 in 8th. 9th is Michael Guerin in the 78, with Aaron Kirby in the 91, rounding out the top 10. The Blake Steele fans out there, Blake Steele in the 11 will start P number 11. Very nice, that worked out like that. Starting in 12th is the double OH machine of Tanner Hutchins. Next will be Chuck Darling in the 88, will start 13th, with Cade Gailey in the 27 starting 14th. 15th going to Jacob Lastar in the 151, with Grady Ehrman in the 42 starting in 16th. 17th going to Dave Payne in the 38, with Jordan McAvoy in the 422 18th. 19th Matt Kemp, 20th Stephen Hoffman, Dane Lloyd 21st, and Ron the Hitman Hart rounding out the field for the A main, because we are going to be going green here in a second. Off of turn number 4, the field will come. We are green flag racing for the 50-lap A main event here at Lincoln Speedway. The top 2 going door to door into turn number 1. It got Zach Nichols up top with Joseph Grandy down low. These guys throwing it at it here for the race lead. Off of turn number 4, give the advantage to Nichols just by a nose as they slide it down into turn number 1. Nichols figuring out some speed in that top side. I told you he's got some experience as we get the yellow flag to fall here for the first time here tonight for the A main here at Lincoln Speedway, as I believe a lot of cars may have been involved. We have Chuck Darling getting up to speed. I believe he was the first one that may have been involved in this yellow. We take a look at the north side towing number 88 machine off of turn number 4. Down the front stretch, Darling comes. He'll throw it down into turn number 1. And oh, one car already sideways up in front. That is the 37 machine of Brandon Marlowe. Aaron Kirby involved, and then it's a parking lot down in 1 and 2. Everyone piling on in. Last week's winner, Trevor Mattingly, gets a piece of it with the right front. He tries to get on the binders, but won't be enough as we try and take a look one more time from the 37 machine of Brandon Marlowe and figure out what happened to him here in turns 1 and 2. And looks like, oh, the 69 machine of Nicholas Alone just gets in the back bumper of the 37, and then the rest of the field comes piling on in. We got to take a look at a further out cam here just to see the amount of cars that get involved in this, as that was a big time yellow as we get 3 already involved, then make it 4 with Chuck Darling, 5 with Blake Steele, and then Mattingly nowhere to go. He makes it 6, and it looks like the rest of them able to just squeak on by. So 6 cars getting some sort of damage here tonight early at the Lincoln Speedway. And the biggest loser from that is Brandon Marlowe. He will start way back now in the 19th position. He was up just near the top 5. Is off of turn number 4. We go back, green flag, race in action. It's contact for 3rd. Somehow the 518 machine of Grandy hangs onto it. He gets a shot from Bolin on the start, but they somehow keep it all straight, and we stay green flag racing here at Lincoln Speedway. 3 wide all throughout the field here, maybe even 4 wide, as drivers just try and find an opening lane at the moment. As one car goes around, that's Stephen Hoffman off the nose of Ron Hart. Chuck Darling gets a piece of it, and that will bring out now our second yellow here on lap number 4. As we saw that one happen live, folks, contact between the 51 and the 23 machine as we get the field to slow on down here as we try and get the turn 3 replay booted on up to see the ever so light contact between the two. As like I said, folks, these shovel nose of these Pro Late models, any sort of contact to that rear bumper of the car in front of you, instantly going to lift off those rear tires, and 9 times out of 10 going to send that car in front of you around. That's why I was frankly amazed that the 518 on that start did not go around, because that was some significant contact, and he somehow keeps that thing straight. As we look at the rear bars of the 23 machine, we ride on board with Stephen Hoffman, and there is the contact just ever so slightly to lift up that car, and that thing goes on around as we see a little bit extra contact at the end, just cars trying to avoid. And it is so hard to avoid these cars on dirt, because you get off the brakes and these cars want to instantly rotate. You get on the binders, these things either shoot around on you or shoot straight right. So it is very unpredictable where these cars can go. You're almost your best bet, keep a little throttle in it and try and drive around the car almost with the front wheels and hope the rear wheels follow. So that's key with wreck avoidance. Very, very tough to do on the dirt, as Zach Nichols in the 28 once again leading us to the green flag. He will jump on the loud pedal here. We go back, green flag race in action as the field fans on out behind him. Already down on lap number 5, and look at these cars just looking for any sort of opening on the speedway. They're just trying to find, wherever a car's not in front of them, as these guys somehow making it work. Dave Payne, though, a man on a mission. That 38 machine up 6 spots where he started. He's finding himself in the top 10, So Dave Payne from the B main trying to make a charge here in the A main as he gets a piece of the wall here in 3 and 4. That opens up the door now for the 422 to get to the inside. Up front, Zach Nichols has that car on rails. That thing is hooked up. He's driving away from the field, about a second advantage over the rest of them. Zach Nichols, where did he come from? Who paid this man to show up to dethrone Trevor Mattingly? And he's doing just that. Battle for second and throughout the field, side by side. These guys going at it, and it is an awesome battle throughout this field for positions. I mean, I could put the camera on 5 different cars, and probably 4 out of the 5 are side by side at the moment. We're currently looking for the battle for second. Cam Tucker on a mission. He started 6th all the way up to trying to get P number 2. So the 53 fans out there on their feet here tonight as Cam Tucker's got a hot piece under him here at Lincoln Speedway. He's got a fast Brandon Bolton behind him though. Bolton now will jump to the low side. Grandy tries to cover up the top side from Tucker and doing just that. Now does Tucker try the slide job? He'll get that momentum here in 1 and 2. We'll see where he can go. Also, where did this guy come from? Jacob Laster in the top 5. He's up 11 positions from where he started. He started deep in this field, right around the 15th position. He's up to 4th and looking for more. Jacob Laster, a man on a mission right now. The car that started so deep in the field tonight, shotgun award recipient from night number 1. We nickname it the Mattingly rule. Trevor Mattingly up in the top 10 now as Blake Steele and Tanner Hutchins get a piece of each other, and we fall under yellow flag here for the 3rd time here tonight. We try and figure out what happened on the speedway as I believe it was our B main winner, Dave Payton, off the pace. We're going to go try and figure out what happened to the ASRC 13 machine here to bring out this most recent yellow. As the field heads down to pace speed, we get the turn 3 replay here out on the speedway, and we look now to the 38 ASRC machine, probably heading down into turn number 1. Maybe some contact. We're about to find out. As Dave Payton high in 3 and 4, puts it in the middle, gets in the slick, and just an ever so light tap from Jordan McAvoy. That spins the 38 machine around in front of the 69. He gets a piece of it. The rest of the field able to get on around as we have a 1-car spin to bring out this 3rd yellow, as I believe McAvoy might be done for the night. I don't see him out on the speedway. As where did this guy come from? Zach Nichols. I told you he has some experience on the iRacing. He's got a lot of great accomplishments. He is a very fast driver on the sim, but that's on pavement stuff. He comes into the dirt and making his presence known. I mean, this 26 machine on rails and currently in the lead here. He will find himself by himself up front with the Delaware double restart. It looks like the 518 machine electing to restart on the inside line. That makes Cam Tucker back up on this outside. Off of turn number 4, the field will come. We jump back on the loud pedal. We go back green flag racing action here at Lincoln. Battle for a second and continues now. Tucker trying to make it work. Grandy trying to shut the door, not quite clear enough. Tucker's just trying to keep his nose up there, but down the front stretch they come in. They go side by side here once again for that 2nd position. Then they got a hungry Bobby Mattingly down low, hungry Jacob Laster up top. They're both looking for any sort of open lane in front of them, just trying to get around those cars. Laster gets a piece of the wall in 3 and 4, just trying to find, like I said, any sort of opening in that 51 Hot Lap Heroes machine. Now Bobby Mattingly doing the same. He makes a mistake now. He bobbles, finds himself in the sucker hole. He gets back up to the top lane though. Bobby Mattingly currently in the 6th position as Cam Tucker does complete the pass on the 518 machine. Tucker up to 2nd as the caution felt once again falls on Lincoln Speedway as we try and figure out who was involved here. I believe Ron Hart might have been slow on the speedway. It looks like he already took that 51 machine pit side as we try and figure out what happened here down the backstretch and into turn number 3. Looks like Nicholas alone just slides up in front of him, and Stephen Hoffman, having no time to react, just gets in the left rear of the 51 machine, and Ron Hart heavy contact to the outside one, and Chuck Darling coming in with the body check, and that sends the 51 machine up and over in turns number 3 and 4, and that will end Ron Hart's night. He does get some time to try and tow that car back to the pit lane, but Ron Hart currently with the tow here as we ride on board Chuck Darling, and you can see how quickly that 51 machine went down the track. Chuck Darling having no time to react, as it looks like Matt Kemp does get the way around. He should be back on the lead lap after this, but Zach Nichols out in front leading the way. Cam Tucker up to second place now in that 53 machine. Joseph Grandy up into third. Jacob Laster in fourth. And Grady Ehrman in the 43 on the car, or 42 in timing scoring, all the way up into fifth position. I mean, where did he come from? He's up over 10 spots as well. Ehrman looking very sporty here at Lincoln for race number 2. As dang, Mike, that's a bummer to hear. Sounds like the 78 machine having some technical issues with the PC, and that is why he is not out here. Currently scored 22nd. Did make the big dance, but sadly having issues. That is a tough break. Hopefully you get that figured out for next week, as Eldora is going to be a wild one. Some money on the line. The field filing back on into their respective spots, getting ready to go back. Green flag racing action, and off at turn number 4 here for lap number 18. We go back green flag racing action as they once again, all sorts of lanes being used on the start, trying to get the best jump they can, and almost 3 wide action as Bolin tries to make the move to the inside of the 43 machine. Tucker in the wall, that checks up Laster. Laster is such a good driver though. He's able to stay off him and just keep that momentum, as well as Laster now puts his foot to the pedal. He tries to get those spots he lost back. As one car very slow, I believe that was a 27 machine, a Cade Gailey. Not sure what kind of issue he had, but he seemed to be falling back as Trevor Mattingly up to P number 9, trying to get P number 8 from either the 24 or the 11. So Mattingly making his way through the field. A little bit further back, Dave Payne, Dane Lloyd doing battle. Stephen Hoffman hanging on to 6 back here. Matt Kemp up to 17 now. He's back on the lead lap. Jordan McAvoy out here running in the 422. He's 18th. Chuck Darling 19th. Ron Hart rounds out the running cars in 20th. As, oh no, don't tell me it's so, folks. I believe at the moment we have a heartbreaking update for the Cam Tucker fans. It looks like he has some sort of mechanical issue, or I should say technical issue if I'm being correct. He is not out on the speedway, so Cam Tucker goes from P number 2 out of the race, as he does not find himself on the racing surface. So that is a heartbreak for the 53 machine. Had such a good night coming, and will find the result that he did not want. Now that moves Jacob Laster up to P number 2 as he gets around the 518 machine of Joseph Grandy. Now we got Grandy and Ehrman battling for that third position. 43 machine up top, 518 down low. This is the battle for third, as it looks like this track moving up on the speedway here at the moment, as we get a yellow flag here once again for the 5th time right before halfway, as I believe it looks like maybe the 124 machine of Brandon Bolin is down on pit road. So we got to figure out what happened to the 124 here to bring out this 5th yellow. Bolton up top. Looks like Bobby Mattingly down low at the moment. This was about for the 8th position, as Blake Steele gets big time sideways off the corner, and looks like Trevor Mattingly just gets into the back of the 24. He ramps up on top of the 37, and Bolin goes up and over down the backstretch, and everyone having to make evasive maneuvers. Luckily, everyone does, as that car is sitting upside down, and that is a very tough break for Bolton, as we got to ride on board with him and see what he saw as the 11 machine of Blake Steele gets a piece of the wall, lifts the rear end off the car, and that slows him way down. They have to check on up, and Trevor Mattingly just barely not reacting quick enough, and that sends the 124 up and over as we ride on board with him, and he will end up on his lid. So like we saw with Andrew Payne in the last chance race, that rear end hopping the wall and then going around quickly. Somehow Blake Steele hangs onto it, but that could have been very, very bad for Steele. But a tough break for Bolton, as he was finding himself in the top 10 now on pit road. As off of turn number 4, the field will come. We go back, green flag racing action. Zach Nichols leads the way, but now has a very fast Jacob Laster all by himself up top. Laster finding his groove up top. He is rolling this top side. Who's playing the Bob Marley for the 51 machine? He's got this high side figured out, and he is coming for the race lead. As that time by, we see cross flags at Lincoln Speedway. Halfway home, halfway to go. As we look about mid-pack, 3 wide, almost a Mattingly sandwich as Trevor Mattingly, Bobby Mattingly, and Blake Steele in the middle. They will single file themselves out as contact in turns number 1. Blake Steele once again hangs onto that car. And like I said, folks, Blake Steele, a little bit of issues in qualifying. You know, he doesn't quite have the qualifying pace, it seems like, or just getting bad with the pill draw, bad breaks with the pill draw. But by race time, man, this 11 machine finds his groove. Once again, Blake Steele in the top 5. You can't count this guy out of this top 5 if he doesn't have anything big happen to him. Further on back, slide jobs being thrown throughout the field. We go back to the 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th place here as Alone and Gailey do battle. Same with Tanner Hutchins and Aaron Kirby. Kirby having high hopes coming in here tonight. Did not get the results from Volusia. Had a very damaged car, but Kirby involved in caution number 1. That damages that race car just a little bit, and that sets him on back. As we go back further on up, Jacob Laster on the wall. One car very much on the wall. That is Blake Steele here once again. He somehow once again keeps that car from going around. I mean, he can't get much closer to the wall than that. He seems like he's tagging it every lap with that right rear, slapping it off there. He definitely knows where the cushion is, and he's saying it's right against the wall here with under 20 laps to go. Up front, we're going to go do everyone's favorite. We're going to go send it over to the turn 3, turn it up. So, oh, just kidding, as we get a yellow flag. Good thing I didn't send it out, or else, you know, who would want to listen to some turn it up during a yellow flag, as I believe Stephen Hoffman slow on the Speedway in the 26 machine. We're going to try and find him and see what happened to him, as I believe he was one of the slow cars after that. As man, some awesome racing here at the Lincoln Speedway. I tell you what, folks, if you want to watch some action-packed racing, tune in every Sunday night. Tell your friends, because this virtual racing doesn't get much better than this. And these guys are a stellar group, to say the least. I mean, to get this kind of racing each and every week, you can't ask for it any better. As we take a look here at the 6th yellow of the night, I believe it was Stephen Hoffman. No, sorry, further on up. Once again, a lot of cars up front and a lot more cars involved, as big time contact throughout the field. I believe it started all the way up front with the 3M of Bobby Mattingly. So we're going to go look at the replay. Looks like Bobby Mattingly gets in the back of Blake Steele. Then the accordion, as that checks up the rest of the high line, and everyone piles on in. Absolutely no time to react. And one big hard hit, 2 big hard hits to the left side of Bobby Mattingly. Aaron Kirby gets a piece of it. Same with Stephen Hoffman. As some big time contact for a lot of these drivers, as we get everything sorted out here in a hurry, and we get ready to go back racing. So, I mean, no time. We got the cleanup crews on it tonight. They get that track cleared on off in a hurry, and we go back green flag racing action for your fans, as Zach Nichols continues to lead the way here with 18 laps to go at Lincoln Speedway. Now with this break, we're going to do some turn 3, turn it up. I'm going to let the cars do the talking. As you guys can see just how close this field is getting to that wall on the Speedway. We have 14 laps to go here tonight at Lincoln Speedway. Zach Nichols jumped out to the race lead early after the start and hasn't looked back since. leading the most laps here tonight once he crosses stripe here, and he's hoping Lasser hasn't figured out anything else in that 51 machine right now. A 3/4 of a second cushion to second as Joseph Grandy gets a piece of the wall there. And he tries to now defend that spot from Blake Steele. And Nicholas alone, where has he come from? He's making his way back up through this field in that 69 machine. And Trevor Mattingly, I mean, I don't think there's a straight panel on this 13T machine, but he has found himself all the way back now up into the 7th position, battling with the 27 of Cade Gailey. Mattingly, you know, won't come away with a win, but at the moment, a pretty decent point stay when it's all said and done with starting at the back of the field. Further on back, we got Jordan McAvoy and Chuck Darling doing battle here for the 16th spot, excuse me. These guys with some damaged pro late models just trying to get this race on done. And at the stripe, inside of 10 laps to go, we're down to single digits for Zach Nichols leading the way here. Zach Nichols leading the way and finding some lap traffic. That is now the 51 machine, very, very damaged of Ron Hart. You see no left front fender on that car. He's just trying to get this race done and over with, get some decent points and get on out of here. Same with Aaron Kirby, about to go a lap down in that 91 machine. As Zach Nichols continues to lead the way here at Lincoln Speedway. A little bit further on back, Dave Payne, Dan Lloyd doing battle just outside of the top 10 here with 7 laps to go. Looks like Trevor Mattingly not quite able to get clear of the 27 machine. Cade Gailey has reclaimed that spot now. Matt Kemp trying to get on around that car. Also during our turn 3, turn it up, we had one incident that sent the 23 machine of Stephen Hoffman towards the back part of this field. Has rebounded since to 15th, but not what he wanted. That time at the stripe for our race leader, we see an open palm from the flagman. 5 laps to go for race number 2 of the American Sim Racing Club Pro Late Model Series here at Lincoln Speedway. Zach Nichols on rails. He has got this car figured out and hooked up. That thing has not seemed out of shape all night long, and every panel on that car completely straight. He's doing everything right, and he's hoping to see the white flag to get this race on over with. Further on back, we got a battle for that 3rd and final podium spot. Ehrman and Grandy doing battle here as Ehrman trying to roll that inside line. Grandy trying to keep the momentum down low as Popsicle sticks up in the air. Looks like some cars may be an issue, yes. And we get a yellow flag late in this race, folks. I believe the 91 machine of Aaron Kirby having some sort of issue. We're gonna try and figure out what happened to bring out this yellow, as he has a lot of pack behind him, as it looks like Kirby in the slick big time down the backstretch. He's trying to keep that car low out of the way as we see them dive down in 3 and 4. And oh, Kirby just staying down low, the 27 machine, not realizing he was going to be that slow. He gets a piece of the lap car, and Kirby almost goes up and over. Nicholas alone almost wedges that car up and over, and that is a tough break for those cars involved as trying to get around some lappers late in this field. As Jacob Lasser now has one final attempt for this race win. Last week, the bridesmaid trying to not make it 2 in a row, but if he does, that could hand over a good points night for that 51 machine. But Zach Nichols, I know him in that cockpit. He did not want to see the 7th yellow, but it does fall on the speedway for that incident between the 91 and 27. As it looks like the lights go out on the iRacing pace truck. This will be a single file restart here, folks. So we will get a long snake of cars through 3 and 4 as it looks like race control does put it out and extend it another lap here. So we get everything sorted out on our ends, and when we go back racing, it will be a green, white checkered here tonight at Lincoln Speedway. 50 laps are the scheduled distance. 50 laps is what we're doing as we get the field trying to catch the iRacing pace truck here and get everyone sorted on out before we go back green flag racing action. As Jacob Laster is the guy at the moment representing all the Hot Lap Hero group, as he currently finds himself the highest car of that bunch in the second position, as we still get everything sorted on out. iRacing does put it on out another lap, so excuse us for the extended caution as we try and get everyone single filed on out, sorted on out, as you can see how long this snake of cars are here tonight at Lincoln Speedway for this final restart of tonight's racing action. Zach Nichols leading us to green. It looks like the lights are staying out, so this time by, we are going back green flag racing action here for a handful of laps. As off of turn number 4, Laster gets on the loud pedal here early. Does he have enough? As we see 2 laps to go, it's going to be a green-white checkered here at Lincoln. Nichols will roll the low side. Laster will try and get it wound up top of Nichols has that bottom side figured out. He gets a great run on this bottom side. White flag here for the field. 1 more lap to go as we see a lot of side-by-side battles throughout this field as everyone tries to sort themselves out 1 and 2. But up front, Zach Nichols through 3 and 4 for the final time. He will get the job done. He will add his name to the list. He will pick up the win for race number 2 here at Lincoln. And it looks like Grady Ehrman does pick up that 3rd position, just beating out Joseph Grandy for that 4th position. Of course, Laster bridesmaid here once again. But Zach Nichols, first start on the dirt with us, and he parks it in victory lane. He has something for Trevor Mattingly, I believe. If Mattingly does get a good race under his belt, this could be an intense battle. But Zach Nichols, the man of the night, he'll pull it down and try and figure out where victory lane is. Don't go anywhere, folks, because after this, we will be talking to the top 3 on the front stretch. So don't go anywhere, folks. As Zach Nichols pulls it in front of the signage here in the front stretch. And we'll head now down to our commercial break, and right back on the other side, we'll be talking to the top 3. Alrighty, folks, we make our way down trackside and talk to our 3rd place finisher, that being Grady Ehrman in the 42 machine. We'll see what he has to say after an impressive run. Grady, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, I got a copy.
Alrighty, man. You make yourself up a whopping 13 positions from where you started here tonight in the A main. Tell us a little bit about that A main and what you had figured out to make you so quick to end up in that 3rd position.
Just being patient, to be honest. I mean, I knew there was a lot of laps left, and I had to be patient and just get spots where I could in cautions, I guess, and try and run the high side as much as I can.
Yeah, and that's what you did. It seemed like that high side coming in nicely, especially at the start. Is that where you made most of your passes to get up to that top 5, because from there, you and Joseph had an intense battle. It seemed like that whole second half of the race.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, he had me on that on the last start, and I thought he was gonna throw a slide job in the last turn, but he didn't. So he was definitely there. I saw him there.
Yeah, it was an intense battle and almost a drag race to the line for you two, but you come away with the podium position. You know, night number 1 didn't probably didn't go your way. I believe you either didn't finish that race or didn't finish definitely where you wanted to rebound tonight to third. I mean, that's got to be a very good feeling, especially with the caliber of competitors here tonight.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
And Grady, I got to ask, you know, Lincoln Speedway, fairly new. I mean, did you do a lot of learning here tonight to this track, or did you do a lot of practice to get prepared for tonight?
Oh, I just test drive mainly all the time, and I just go here because it's a local track for me. I've been here many times. And
Gotcha. So you know a little bit of the track secrets, what it should do in real life, and did you think it translated over to iRacing here tonight?
yeah, definitely.
So a little hometown advantage for the 42 machine. So that's got to feel even better for you. You know, you're technically your home race here tonight to end up on the podium. I mean, that's got to add the cherry on top for you.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Alrighty, Grady. Well, before we let you go and celebrate this third place finish, tell us a little bit more about yourself. You know, what might we find you doing if it's not on iRacing, or, you know, how involved are you at your local short tracks? Where could we find you on like a Saturday or Friday night?
Either BAPS or Lincoln Speedway, pretty much. Just either those two.
Awesome stuff. Well, Grady, before we let you go and celebrate this podium finish, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and let us know who makes this 43 machine so quick.
My parents, my dad, stepmom, stepdad. If it wasn't really for them, I wouldn't be able to do anything. My stepdad built my computer, and my dad really got me into racing. He's the reason why I love it so much. So, thanks to them.
Yeah, awesome stuff. It's a good bug to have. I like to tell people, as you know, brings all sorts of walks of life, especially on iRacing. We have a very diverse group here and a lot of talent. And Grady, you showing your talent off tonight to come home in this third position. Once again, huge congrats to you, and I hope we'll be talking to you some more in the future. Have yourself a good one.
Hey, thanks, man. You too.
Alrighty, folks, that was our third place finisher, Grady Ehrman, in the 43 machine. Now we head over to our runner-up finisher, that being Jacob Laster once again. Jacob, you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
I got you, Brett.
Alrighty, Jacob. You tie for the biggest mover in this A-main event, up 13 positions. You technically get the award because you moved up to second. Tell us a little bit about that A-main and how'd you get around that many cars?
This place, man, was a lot of luck. You know, I really didn't expect the top to come in, but that's where I started the race, and that's kind of where I committed, because every restart seemed like I was on the outside. But the further it got towards the wall, the more treacherous it got, so it got a little more sketchy. And about halfway through the race, I pounded the front stretch and knocked the right front out of it, and it was a handful after that. I think if the track had been, if it hadn't been like it was, I don't know if I'd have held on, being damaged. But yeah, he told me about halfway through I knocked the wheels out of both, so I was just hanging on.
Yeah, it does look like that right rear quarter panel, a little bit of damage from leaning on that wall, and it seemed like by the end of the race you had to be up there. We saw some cars actually hopping the wall with their right rear quarter panel and lifting their rear tires off the ground. I mean, that's how intense people were against the wall. Did you find some traction all the way that close to the wall?
I try not to get up there real high, just because you have a tendency the car can get up over the wall and your tires will leave the ground and you'll spin out. So I was trying to, when I got to second, I knew I probably wasn't going to have anything for Zach with a damaged car, and he was hitting there at the end. He was running a good line and hitting his mark, so I don't think we had anything for him. But yeah, I tried not to do it just so I didn't lose any ground that I made up.
Yeah, Jacob, going back way further in the night, that heat race for you. I mean, it seemed like the top side was where it was at, especially in heat race 1 and 2. Then we get to heat race 3, and then all of a sudden it goes to the bottom, and you had to battle your way in to even lock yourself in, almost going to the B main tonight. I mean, that had to be a little bit of some extra stress that you weren't ready for.
No, it always seems like me and Brandon have to start beside each other, and when you start beside a teammate, you try to make sure you don't make any mistakes. You don't want to ruin each other's race. And yeah, I mean, Bobby just snuck up on us, and he snookered us pretty good. And like I said, I couldn't get back down to the bottom to that last lap. I was able to get in front of the guy that was battling me for the transfer, and he was able to hold on for that. But yeah, it was pretty nerve-wracking.
Oh, I bet it was, Jacob, as you lock yourself in luckily and make your way to the front. Like you said, not quite enough with the damage to get Nichols, but once again, a second position for the second week in a row. You got to be pretty happy with that, but I know you're itching to get down in victory lane.
Yeah, I thought we had a good shot tonight, but Zach ran a good race, and we set ourselves up pretty bad after the heat race. So, yeah, we'll get there, man. I think the EOL rule we did that the first season I ran, and like I said, that seems to I think produce a really good racing, and it makes the points really tight. So we'll see how it goes. We got a long way to go.
Yeah, we do. As tonight's only week number 2, as next week we go to Eldora for the 100-lap main event. Jacob, I bet you're excited for that. A little bit of money on the line. How do you feel about Eldora?
Like I said, I'm not a big fan there. I won there the last race of the year, you know what I mean? But it's just I don't know what it is about that place. It's like you have to fight nose to tail the entire race, and somehow or another at the end there's an exciting finish. I don't know how it happens, but it does it every time there. But yeah, it's usually top dominant there, right against the wall, and we'll see what happens, man. I mean, maybe something will come in there in the middle, and we'll have a good track to race on for 100 laps.
Yeah, I was going to say 100 laps, a long distance. That track going to be very worn by the end of that one, and we'll see a lot of moves. But Jacob, I think this will be a common occurrence talking to you by the end of the nights. You find yourself on the podium. The only guy 2 weeks in a row now, you add yourself to that name. So Jacob, before we let you go and celebrate with the Hot Lap Hero Boys, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank to make this 51 machine so quick.
You said it, man. I got to thank Hot Lap Heroes, all the guys in the race tonight. Some of them didn't make it through, but just had bad luck. And for hats off to everybody that made it through. And I got to say, a shout out to 789 Designs for the wrap on the car, the Sud Shop, Max Green as always. Got to thank the wife for taking care of the little one. You guys for doing the broadcast. Really enjoy watching the replays, Brett. And got to thank all the guys that put the league on, Zach and Dave, and the ones that put in the effort for us, give us a place to run. It's second to none league, man, and we really enjoy it on Sunday nights.
Yeah, I tell you what, I didn't think the racing could get any better, but this season, man, intense competition throughout. It's a hard ass even to lock yourself into the race here, it seems like, and that's awesome to see. So Jacob, you have yourself a great rest of the night. I'm sure we'll be talking to you a lot more here in the future.
Appreciate it, man.
Alrighty, folks, for the second week in a row, we talked to Jacob Lastar in the bridesmaid spot. Now we head down to Victory Lane here at Lincoln Speedway and talk to the man of the hour. That is Zach Nichols. Zach, you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth.
Yeah.
Alrighty, Zach. I mean, where'd you come from? Your first race with ASRC Pro Late Models here on the dirt, and you park it down in Victory Lane. I mean, you had that thing hooked up. It seemed like you could drive anywhere. Tell us a little bit about your night and how this car was so good.
Yeah, I mean, I joined late. I didn't really even know this was happening until my buddy Matt told me about it. I don't think his night went too well. He went to the back a couple times, his wheel disconnected, then he had to drive back through the field. I think he finished 9th, which is pretty darn good of him. And yeah, I mean, we started, I think, second because one of them had to go to the rear, and we got the lead early. And with I forget what it's called, but with the leader starting a row ahead of everyone else, it's kind of an advantage. So just led us to get a gap every restart and hold them off.
Yep, that Delaware double file restart definitely coming into your favor, getting that front row all to yourself. And Zach, I'm amazed you didn't go to that top side on that final restart there at the end. But man, you were quick through the slick. I mean, like you said, is it just patience on that throttle to make that thing so quick down there?
Yeah, I mean, right before that last yellow, I noticed that the right against the wall was getting to start to be slick, so I just put around the slick like I was throughout like majority of the race, and it played off.
Yeah, I tell you what, I hope to see you back here some more because I think you have a great shot of getting Trevor Manley if he doesn't have to start at the back. You know, he was the driver to beat last season, and Zach, you got a lot of speed in that thing. Hopefully, we'll see you some more throughout the season.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm sure I'll be back next week. It was a ton of fun.
Yeah, like I'm sure you heard from drivers and whatnot, or maybe even saw on the broadcast last week. I mean, some stellar group of guys, and I tell you what, some pretty clean racing. I mean, I don't maybe a tiny crinkle on your right rear quarter, but I mean, I don't see a scratch on this car besides that.
Yeah, I think that right rear crinkle is from the wall. I think I got her a couple times around the top, but yeah, it was a ton of fun. I can't thank you guys enough for broadcasting. It's a ton of fun to go back and watch races. And whoever, I don't really know who puts this on, but I think it's Zach. And can't thank whoever puts this on enough.
Yep, that is Zach Heiser putting on tonight's show. Of course, then we have Tuesday night being broadcasted by me for the Next Gen series, and then Wednesday night we have the Scrambler that goes to all different tracks. That is definitely a skill-based series there. We go dirt on street stocks, road courses, you name it. So, Zach, we hope to see you around. And I know you have some experience here on the iRacing Simulator. I mean, why don't you tell the fans maybe some of those big accomplishments you have here?
I mean, yeah, I ran in the Pro Series, or the Coca-Cola iRacing Series in the asphalt oval side, and I haven't really done much on the dirt side, but I'm looking forward to doing some more of it.
Yeah, I tell you what, you are always quick, especially on that pavement side. That's why I encourage you, come over to that pavement side, show us what you got, because I know you have a lot of speed in there. I've raced with you a few times now on the sim throughout some of the Midwest hosted stuff, and I tell you what, you are a guy to beat. And Zach, I think you got a real life car, right? Are you planning to run that this season in the Michigan area?
Yeah, I got a MCR dwarf car. I'm looking to do the whole season. Hopefully, dethrone Matt of his championship that he got last year.
There you go. And when does your season start for you guys?
May 6th.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. Well, Zach, before we let you go and celebrate your inaugural ASRC win and your first win, of course, on the dirt side, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank to make this car so quick down in victory lane.
Yeah, like I said before, I'd like to thank you guys for broadcasting, Zach and everyone who puts this whole deal together. My dad and my Uncle Kenny are watching, so I'd like to shout them out, and yeah, that's about it.
Alrighty, Zach. Well, I look forward to talking to you some more throughout the season, as that thing was very quick, and I can't wait to see what more you have in store. So, Zach, you have yourself a great one, and we'll catch you next week at Outdoor for some money.
Yeah, thank you.
Alrighty, folks, that is Zach Nichols pulling that thing down into the pits here, and we'll run through tonight's finishing order here and get everyone sent on home here and get things wrapped up on the Sunday night. Be sure to tune in next Sunday at Eldora, because there we have the Eldora 100 with some money on the line. But tonight, the finishing results looking like the following. Zach Nichols parks it down in victory lane at Lincoln. He picks up the win. Jacob Laster once again, bridesmaid. He will bring it home second. Grady Ehrman in the 42 will finish third. Fourth going to Joseph Grandy in the 518. Blake Steele in the 11. Another top 5 finish for Blake Steele. He rounds out the top 5. Sixth going to Nicholas Alone in the 69. Seventh is Trevor Madley in the 13T. He had to start dead last in this main event. He makes a hard charge, but not quite enough. He will finish in 7th. 8th going to Bobby Manley in the 3. 9th is Matt Kemp. So Kemp, an impressive run. He finds himself in the top 10 by the checkered flag. Brandon Marlowe in the 37. Hot Lap Heroes machine will round out the top 10. 11th going to Dave Payne, the winner of the B main. 12th going to Dan Lloyd in the 9. 13th is Stephen Hoffman in the 23. 14th is Chuck Darling in the 88. Jordan McAvoy in the 422 rounds out the top 15, with 16th coming home to Cade Gailey in the 27. 17th is Ron the Hitman Hart in the 51, with Tanner Hutchins in the double OH 18th. 19th will look like the following. Will be Aaron Kirby in the 91, with Cam Tucker finishing 20th, and 21st going to Michael Guerin. That will round out the standings there, folks. And that will do it here from race number 2 of the American Sim Racing Club Pro Late Model Series. We, of course, got to give a huge shout out to that little icon in the top right of your monitor, screen, or TV. That is, of course, Horsepower Happenings. You can catch them every Monday night on all your major streaming platforms to get all your racing updates, especially the local Midwest scene. I've been Brett the Jet in the booth from Turn 3 Racing Network. Thank you all for tuning on in, and we will catch you on Tuesday with yours truly for the American Sim Racing Club Next Gen Series, and then you'll see me out on track on the Turn 3 Racing Network Wednesday for the Scrambler Series. Thanks again to everyone tuning on in live, all the replay viewers, everyone in chat. We got a long list down in chat from Jordan, Michael, Hoffman Racing, Mojo, Shelby, and it looks like that is all of them, and Cheryl, all tuning on in, leaving some YouTube chat in the YouTube chats. And of course, like I said, be sure to tune in to Turn 3 throughout the week, as we got a lot of great broadcasts, a lot of great series going live. If you want your sim racing fix, be sure to check us out, as we have some great racing products. Everyone, take care, have a great week, and we'll catch you next week for the Eldora 100, presented by Horsepower Happenings. I've been Brett the Jet.